Welcome to Sharon is Karen. I'm Paul.
And I'm Karen.
And we want to thank you for joining us today with Sharon is Karen. We have a very special guest for you today, a local artist to actually tour nationwide. Matt Sassano is joining us to share his story and testimony and his walks with faith with the Lord. We're so excited about Matt being here with us today, and you get to find out more about him and his walk with the Lord.
Yes, we're very excited to get to hear just what Jesus has been to him. And Paul has got a similar background, so this is a very exciting day for him because he has followed Matt for a long time now. We want to introduce him to you, Matt Sassano.
Connect with Paul and Karen on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok with the usernames listed on the screen. We look forward to connecting with you.
And thank you for coming back to Sharon is Karen. And we are here today so blessed to be in the presence with Matt Sassano, a Christian rock artist who grew up in the Northeast, lives here in East Tennessee now, and he's just got amazing testimony and story. And I am just so excited to be able to introduce and share with you his walks with faith in the Lord and the things he's doing to share awareness of just many different topics, from being picked on as a child, depression, suicide, just so much, and disabilities, and knowing that the Lord still has you, you have a place to turn to, and no matter what the naysayers say, God's got you. God's got you. So Matt, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you guys so much for having me, man. It's been awesome, and as a fellow Tennessean, it's good to be in studio today.
Yeah, we're so excited about this, and it's I do want to start with how we met, and because we keep going back to that. We talk about how Karen and I had placed a ad on the internet. We had a CO2 for restaurant soda service, and it was a brand new canister. We were closing the restaurant. We weren't going to have soda service no more. And your stepdad, Steve, answered that, wanted the CO2 cartridge. And then to tell us what it was used. Why did you need the CO2 cartridge? What was its?
It's merely just to make my show look awesome. So if y'all haven't seen me live, you got to come down to a live show. And this guy helped me out with the CO2 cannon. And that thing is kind of what I open each show with, and it kind of grabs everybody's attention to have some fun and hopefully digest the message at the end of the show.
Right. And just that, what is the message for each show? What is your base message?
I like to say that I write music for the underdog. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where, I was raised in a small town called Canisteo, New York, and music was the first thing that I remember ever making me feel empowered. I had a lot of obstacles to overcome as we've with the cerebral palsy and some other disabilities, and music was really the first thing that really clicked with me, Yes,
yeah. And that was one of the things in the Bible. We talk about the cerebral palsy. There's no medical cure. Yeah. There's no surgeries that could take place. There's no medicine that you could take. Only the Lord can get you through that, help you with that. And Matt doesn't, he doesn't throw that out. Oh, you got to feel sorry for me. You got to, no, not at all. What it is the Lord has enabled him to do what he truly wants to do and what the Lord has put on his heart, even though he'd have cerebral palsy. You wouldn't know it. Most people don't know it. I was born with cerebral palsy, and I didn't find this out about Matt until 2 years after I had met your dad. Yeah. And just thought, well, picked on as a kid. We're all picked on as kids, I think. No matter what our disability, or people are picked on. It just happens, and the bullying today is, I think, sometimes even stronger now than what we grew up with. And so to have a way to be able to outsource that, you do it through singing, through sharing the word, and you write your own music.
Yeah, it's really an amazing thing, and you know, I've been in various band projects since 2010, but it wasn't until about 2-3 years ago that I even wanted to confront the idea of talking about my disabilities on stage. It was always something that I kind of shied away from, or you know, want to talk about other aspects of my life. And up until the first song, "Not My Name," that went #1 on the Christian rock charts, that was really just one of those things that was off limits, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's been brought full circle, and I'm glad that people are getting this message now.
Yeah, and so more about that, "Not My Name." That was just so, you know, the Lord has given you a name. There's no titles, no matter what. You could be the president of the United States, a CEO of a company, major company. That's not what the Lord's looking for.
Yeah. It's "Not My Name" is basically all the labels that people have put on you, and all the things that we go throughout life. And you know, live, usually what I do is I'll have a hoodie on, and it has all these labels like loser and all those things that people call you. And I give the testimony about what labels you've come in here with tonight are not your name. And yeah, it's really resonated. We've seen so many people after concerts come forward with different disabilities and say, you know, I'm launching my own ministry now, or I'm doing this now, which is, it's really cool, because I think that this is a segment of people that are really largely underrepresented in the music industry. So
Yeah. And part of some of your story was, even from the time you were born through school and stuff, you had naysayers.
Oh yeah.
What are the kind of things that people would say that would be negative and made to the normal person or anybody really want to just quit and give up? What were some of the kind of things that you were faced with but still seemed to make it past?
Oh, well, from a very young age, just, you know, I think I came from a small town, so a lot of even just the idea that you could go beyond that small town was a very foreign concept for a lot of people. Not that I love the people in those towns, but, you know, just even when I was starting in my musical endeavors or anything like that, like I've had people just well-meaning joking around saying, well, why don't you just give up, man? You tried so many times, you know. You get those naysayers that just they're content doing what they're doing, and, you know, so they don't believe that you can do anything. So it's just kind of like, you know, you're stuck in that one position and they want you there with them, you know. You know, from a very young age, struggling in my education. I have another disability called dyscalculia, so I struggled a lot with mathematics and things like that, and getting lost in school, and oftentimes would kind of feel like the lab rat to the education system, because I remember from a young age, you know, a lot of uncertain educators would be trying to do run tests. They would, you know, they had this physical therapist come in, and he would try to assess what was going on. And so he would monitor me throughout the day, and all these different things that would happen. And so ultimately I was a magnet for, you know, getting picked on and being a spectacle to the other kids, which was never, you know, not the highlight of my years.
Yeah, I can attest to that. I went to a special school to start with, but then I was able to transfer to public schooling, and yeah, you get picked on.
Yeah.
It gives them an outlet, and then you kind of, what I had done was stay with it. Mm-hmm. I had, you know, oh, they're calling me dummy or feeling, oh, haha, it must be funny, and sometimes I would even laugh with them, even though it hurt. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, and like you said, trying to hide as we get older, we try to hide the fact that we have the cerebral palsy. We don't want to put it up front and foremost. Yeah. But you know, the Lord says, you know, or I feel, don't be embarrassed or ashamed of what actual thing He's gotten us through, has pulled us out of. As in Charlie Lambert had shared with us, bringing us out of potholes. That's our pothole that He's just lifted up. It's a pothole. It's not the end of the world. It's just so amazing that you're able to go past that when someone's telling you won't make anything of yourself. You know, you shared a story about, you had told it was either a high school teacher, you wanted to pursue music.
Yeah.
What was the response you got from that?
So I'll never forget this. This was, I was in a trade school, and they were trying to figure out what I was going to be doing in my education, started taking a digital media class. Well, because of my dyscalculia, some of the functions within that digital media class became really hard to do, and I just remember knowing that it wasn't what I wanted to be doing. And about the time I went to unenroll, I went to unenroll, and the teacher talked to her on the phone, and I'm like, I want to go and pursue music. And I'll never forget, she paused, she laughed, and she said, "We can all dream, honey." And, I just felt like I was being kicked while I was down. Understand intellectually why, rock star or whatever would be a far-fetched thing, but when you're already kind of feeling misplaced, and then to hear "We can all dream, honey," it's like the last thing you want to hear when you're down on your luck like that.
Yeah, and then going from, well, you can dream, pipe dreams, going from that to, being on tour with, a nationwide tour, do you just automatically go there, or what was it like, a stepping stone to get you to where you finally got on tour? I mean,
Man.
It wasn't easy.
Oh, no, absolutely not. Like I said, it's been line upon line, precept upon precept. I've been in numerous bands, and around 2014, I moved out of my small town of upstate New York to Tennessee with my mom and stepfather, and they have been really supportive in this. At first, we met Travis Wyrick, who was a producer down here in the local area, through a Kickstarter campaign that the band Disciple was doing. And that was kind of my into the music industry. And ever since then, God has just kind of whittled everything down to where I'm the solo artist, and I used to do like 5-piece band, but God just was like, man, if you want something done, do it yourself. And this has kind of just been an amazing experience, getting to know everybody within the industry and kind of just sharing these stories that are uncommon,
So was it kind of surreal for you? Who was that first band that you were opening up for, that you nationwide toured with, and then they asked you to come back for more?
Yeah, so from the time I was 17, I was a big Seventh Day Slumber fan, and so I remember Joe, the lead singer, used to go live on the internet all the time, and my stepdad, Steve, would be like, "When are you taking Matt on tour?" Like every other time he'd be online. And eventually it kind of caught his attention, and he ended up giving us a call, and then at that time just so happened to be in studio with Josiah Prince, and Josiah said, "I got this new guy." So he kept hearing about me throughout these different grapevines, and he finally said, "Hey man, I like what your story is, I like what you're doing, let's take you along." And the rest is kind of history, and we've seen so many people, really impacted by the power of music.
And the tour is not just about going out there, having these big dollar ticket sales and doing these humongous. Being on that tour with them, what is that main goal?
Man, that main goal is to just, get the story out there. You know what I mean? I love the idea that I'm out there and I get to perform and do what I love, but do things in a meaningful way. Like I've had everybody come from people, telling me about their suicidal thoughts or whatever it is, man. You meet such a variety of people on the road that it's so great to see this medium kind of impacting them. Yeah,
and that's really cool with saving somebody who may have that point with that song, Not My Name, and then another song that you had done, Dear God. And Guilty Pleasure, Sorry is a Dirty Word. So these are all on the In Defiance.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I've been looking at some of that and seeing that go through and knowing that song, Not My Name, may have saved 1, 2 millions of lives who may have been going, I'm tired of getting picked on, I'm tired of the name calling, and come to realize that there's a tomorrow. That the Lord does not meant that for you. That's your lull, that the Lord's there with you, carrying you through that. No matter what. And another story that I had read, and you posted this recently on Facebook, was this from just a few years ago. I believe you said, yeah, here we go. In my notes, I have got down 5 years ago, you remembered planning for an event.
Yeah.
And that relates to so many people. Tell us about that one event that you were so planned, but the co-planners were not on the same page, I guess.
Sure. So, I mean, I could tell you a million just different stories of our way to, we didn't wake up overnight and become on tour. So,
Right.
It was a real grind for the first couple years coming to Tennessee. And I remember this one gig where we had planned something at this local place, and the co-planners weren't quite as keen on what was going on. And I just remember we had just so happened to get ready for this event. They forgot altogether that we were planned to be there that night.
Oh, wow.
We just so happened to grab an amp and have enough to play outside, where there was one guy standing there looking at me awkwardly and then another old lady in a lawn chair. And I remember just being so crushed inside, man. I was so devastated with what was going on, but I had to force myself to ignore the reality. And I played that show like there was 2,000 people out in an arena. And, I remember just kind of like going away from that show, being crushed, but saying, I got to continue to do this. This is what I'm called to. This is what I feel, that I need to do. And from there, here we are now.
Yeah, and when you shared that story, which, I mean, every time you share something, getting Grizzly Awards, nominated for Grizzly Awards and stuff, every time you share something like that, it's just so touching. And it just, sitting here right now, it gives me these chills, and to know that this story that you recently shared, how you ended it, not so much about the old guy and the one lady in the lawn chair, and you felt so crushed, but you wrote, I was not about to quit.
Exactly.
That is so powerful.
And I think that whenever I win a Grizzly Award, whenever I do something like, beyond, but it's a message larger than me. It's a message for that underdog, for that person that's struggling with maybe a drug addiction, that people say, you'll never change, you're the underdog, for that person with disabilities. Like, whenever I do these things, it's living proof that, like, you can take one thing and through, God's power, just really completely transform your life. And so I hope when people check out the music, it's not just like, oh, this is about Matt Sassano. It's about you guys. It's about all those people that are underdogs, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really neat. That's, we have dreams. We're going to have naysayers. They're going to say, oh, the Bible tells us, the Lord said, people are going to not like you because of my name. Mm-hmm. And people are going to hate you. And for us to be able to get over that and get past that, and to be able to write music about it, be able to sing that music about it, do it on nationwide tours, whether it be schools, prison ministries, just wherever the Lord led you to, you go out and do it. As a matter of fact, maybe it was the last tour you guys were doing, you had some vehicle trouble.
Oh, yeah, that was, man.
Like, I'm not going to get there. We're like, oh, what's happening to Matt Sassano
just
right now?
Just another chance to beat the odds right there, man. Yeah, we had broken down in Kentucky. And it was just one of those things where we were nervous because it's expensive getting out there on the road, and you're kind of just like, what do we do? How do we continue to go on this tour? And it was a really cool experience. Like, I got on Facebook and let the word out, and overnight people helped kind of raise money for us, and we were able to continue the tour and just see so many things happen. And so in the midst of our just freaking out, everybody online came through, and it was really, it afforded us that month on the road where we were able to really make an impact.
Wow. And that was all the way, you guys went West Coast.
Yeah.
When that happened, so from here, they were in California and stuff, so wow, what amazing testimony. And it all comes back to that, like, it's not your name. When I pulled that up, something that it reminded me of, and I'm in Psalm 91:14, because he hath set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. You know the Lord's name. The Lord knows your name. He gave you that name, not a title. He's not after flesh. He's not after what's on the outside. He wants your heart. He wants your whole heart, 100%. He wants us to go there like that. And that's what Matt Sassano's doing. He's given his whole heart to the Lord. And he's doing it with purpose. He's doing it with gumption. He's doing it no matter what the namesayers say, and even if it's to a crowd of one or two. It was just like a pastor friend of ours. It was the very same thing. Build the church, make it beautiful, everything. First day opened it up and nobody showed. Did he quit? No. And that's what Matt's here to remind us about, to tell us about how don't quit. You'll get that number one on the Christian Rock for the whole year, not just for a week or something. When they did the whole year thing, they had all these other, even 7 Day Slumber was up on the charts. And who's on top of them? Who's on top of 7 Day Slumber but Matt Sassano at number one with Not My Name. And then just when we thought, oh, okay, yeah, it's a one-hit wonder, what was the second song that hit number one on that chart?
Man, Dear God, which is another really great song close to my heart. So, hey, man, I appreciate it.
So see, not just one miracle, but you're going to get multiple miracles. Just because, well, I got my miracle, I'm done. Okay, God's done with you. God's not done with you yet. Reach out for those miracles day after day. It's coming to you. You're going to receive that miracle. Just be faithful to the Lord. Follow His word. He has it right there for us. He has it right there. And I'm just so glad, and it's an honor for you to be able to share that testimony and do that. If people wanted to hear your song, hear your songs, your album, and you got some new stuff coming up too. One, other than Facebook, we're going to look at Matt Sassano for Facebook, and we'll put that information on the screen for you there. How else can people get a hold of Matt Sassano or read or see anything about you?
Okay, so I have a main website, mattsassano.com. You can go and check that. It should have links to all the major social media. I would say that I'm primarily on all social networks, but Instagram is kind of right now my hub. Yeah. And so Instagram at Matt Sassano Music, reach on out, and I like to respond to people who reach out. So
yeah, that's really cool. So and that's, we'll share that link down there, mattsassano.com, so that you can reach out to Matt, read more, learn more, listen and hear, listen to his music, find out why he hit number one on the Christian rock charts. I mean, that's just beautiful testimony, and your walk with faith in the Lord over so many hundreds of thousands, I'm sure, times of someone saying, you're just not going to make it, man.
Oh, I've had that.
You're not going to And there you are. And as you shared with us, it's not rocket to stardom. You got to work at it. Mm-hmm. You got to work at it. Just give it to God, have faith in Him, and continue. Be persistent, and it'll happen, won't it? That's what sharing is caring is all about, is the Lord led us on a path, and we said, well, let's just do it. Mm-hmm. People made connections, put people in the right places at the right time. Us posting a CO2 canister, having your dad respond to it saying he needs it, and me just asking, okay, it wasn't just, okay, here's the canister, bye, nice meeting you, thanks for purchasing my merchandise. No, what are you going to use it for? I was so intrigued to find out the Lord put that in me. The Lord said, speak out and ask, find out more. I started following Matt on Facebook, and I really enjoy the posts that he puts on there. I don't have an Instagram myself. I'm not sure, but I'll have to check it out. But it's just great, and we sure do enjoy having you here with us. And would you come back and share more about the music, about your journeys going through this, and
absolutely
touring the thing? Well, we would love to have you back, and it's going to be a blessing to us all. And I want to definitely invite Matt to come back with us. And I did have one other note here that I wanted to share with you all. And this is Revelation 3:5. He that overcometh, the same shall be clothed in white raiment, and will not blot out his name out of the book of life, but I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels. Not my name, not titles, not... The Lord knows your name. And he says it right there. It's in the red ink, just what Matt is showing. Know his name, share his name, because he's going to share your name and the loved ones around you's name with his Father. You will not be blotted out. Don't be blotted out. Don't listen to the naysayers. Don't take any of that. Just stand strong. Have the Lord guide you through to your next steps. Believe me, Matt's prayed hard, always asking for guidance, writing more music. Next time he comes back, he's going to share with us some new stuff coming up, and when you can catch it, it's probably by the time this airs, it's going to be already out and released, and we hope that you look for it there. And do know that the Lord loves you. We love you all. We thank you so much for watching with us today at Sharing is Caring. Reach out to Matt, send him a hello on his website, Facebook page, all his social media links, his hub of Instagram, and he'd love to share his testimonies with you. God bless you, and you all have a great day.
Connect with Paul and Karen on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok with the usernames listed on the screen. We look forward to connecting with you.
Hey, Matt Sassano here, and I just want to tell you about a special website I designed for anybody who's going through, relationship issues, mental health issues of any sort. I designed www.yourdeargodletter.squarespace.com, and on this you can get contact information to people that want to talk to you on the Hope line. It's open 24/7, so if you're going through something dark today, don't wait, call now.
Oh, that's awesome. And remember, we'll have all that on the screen for you to look up and share. Again, we want to thank you. Remember, always give it to God. We love you. He loves you more.